know, the investigation into the Sunroad matter by the City Attorney's Office is continuing. And in reference to that investigation, we have focused in on a secret agreement that was entered into by the mayor without disclosure to the council, the public, and without the charter requirement that the City Attorney's Office review the document. I will have extensive remarks to make about documents that we were able to retrieve yesterday that had been inappropriately and improperly removed, original documents that belong to the City of San Diego. There was an effort to remove them from the city's office. They were in fact removed from the city's real estate assets department, sequestered over in the airport authority offices on Friday. They were original documents. Yesterday, investigators from the city attorney's office and lawyers were able to locate the documents, to capture the documents, and to return them to the city. Those documents are rather revealing, and I'll be discussing them in detail in a moment. But we are honored to have Councilmember Fry here this morning. She has to go to the council meeting immediately, and so she is going to make her comments and then depart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aguirre. I appreciate it very much. As you may or may not know, the Sunroad building is located in District 6, which is the council district that I represent. As such, I have been trying to open the lines of communication to protect the public health and to make sure that this building is brought down to the safe limit as required by the FAA. Back in April of 2007, I joined with the Community Airfields Associations and many other pilot organizations urging Mayor Sanders to enforce the October 2006 stop work notice that had been issued to Sunroad. And at that time, unfortunately, the mayor's response to our urgent request was that he was not sufficiently aware of the details of the project to respond to my request, and none was forthcoming. This comment was extremely unsettling at that time due to a number of reasons, including the fact that the Sunroad office tower had in fact been the discussion of many, many news conferences and articles and media stories. The fact that the mayor's own staff had issued 2 stop work notices, one in October and another in December of 2006. And finally, that there had been ongoing communication between the mayor's staff and the Sunroad developer and lobbyists, which came to light after the fact. Most recently, Mr. Aguirre and I went to the Regional Airport Authority to provide non-agenda public comment based on information that was provided to him through other means and through me, through Mr. Burson, at an April 11th Rules Committee meeting where he mentioned in passing that the City of San Diego had borrowed a gentleman by the name of Ted Sexton to work with the city. He mentioned specifically that Mr. Sexton was brought on board to work on Sunroad, which certainly perked up my ears. I believe you can get a transcript of that meeting, and what I'm telling you will be confirmed. I then went with the city attorney to the authority and brought up the fact of this agreement, and 2 points. Number one is that the city council had never taken action on this, but more importantly is that while the legal counsel for the Regional Airport Authority had signed off as to form and content, the legality of this agreement, our city attorney had not seen it and had not been told about it, which concerned me greatly, and he and I went there. Just yesterday, in my discussions with Mr. Aguirre, and he will be providing to you copies of these documents, which is unfortunate that we have to go to such extremes in order to obtain public documents that the public has a right to know about a public safety issue. But the fact of the matter is that the mayor on March 2nd of 2007, which was a month before I had my press conference asking for something to be done, Mr. Sanders sent a letter to the San Diego County Regional Airport Authority Chairman, Mr. Burson, regarding Montgomery Field and specifically the Sunroad litigation, and requesting that the airport authority assist us in analyzing the situation and in working with the FAA and other interested stakeholders in an attempt to resolve this issue. Clearly, Mr. Sexton was brought in to work on the Sun Road issue, and the documents show that. I just want to say that, again, it is most unfortunate that we must go to such extremes in order to get information and to actually find out what is going on in our city, but particularly something that is this serious as far as the public safety, something that the FAA has said is a hazard to air navigation. And in closing, I just want to say there was a comedy show many years ago, perhaps you remember it. It was called Barney Miller. And Barney Miller talked about, there was one of the police officers who was playing a role, and he played this role of a person who just couldn't quite get all the information out to Barney Miller. And Barney Miller had to keep asking him over and over again to finally get the full story out. This would be funny, and it was funny when it was done as Barney Miller as a comedy situation, but it's not funny when the public health and the pilot's safety is put at risk. This isn't funny. This is not the way to run our city. This is not the way to protect the public health, and there needs to be full disclosure. The public deserves it. We all deserve it. So I want to thank Mr. Geary. He, again, has been very dogged in his determination to make sure that the public interest is put first, and also that the public information is actually made public. Were it not for Mr. Aguirre, I assure you that this information would not have been forthcoming, and you would probably have never known about all these documents that we have not been told about. And I want to thank you, Mr. Aguirre. I appreciate taking care of our city, but particularly looking out for the public's interest, releasing documents, and making sure that the public safety is protected.
In view of the mayor's memo yesterday, were you satisfied with what he wrote? Because he seems to have come correct based on what the FAA said that they were actually going to do, which is to order an exclusive circles out. So what is your opinion on how the mayor has handled this from start to finish?
It feels to me, based on the information that was provided in a June 11th memorandum, specific where the mayor is saying that Mr. Sexton was not brought on board to manage the Sun Road building issue. I do not know how, in light of the documents, I do not know how, in light of the facts, that those types of statements can be made. I do not know how you can take these types of statements as truth, because clearly it's not the truth.
So is he or is he not interested in A, the noise over there, the crash hazards over Serra Mesa, and then the appearance that Sun Road is going to be accommodated?
I think that one of the pilots probably said the best statement about this, that the solution that was proposed in May, which still included the changing the air patterns, when Mr. Sanders finally on May 18th, I believe, said that if the FAA didn't go along with that only then would he, make sure that the building was lowered to a height that was according to the FAA standards. But Mr. Beach, I believe, said that it was a great solution in October. Too bad it was not brought forward until May. And the fact of the matter is I think what bothers me so much is that I was very sincere in my efforts to open a dialogue, to do something about protecting the public safety, and in fact we have not been told the truth. Mr. Aguirre has had to go out and find all these documents in order to get truth out to the public, and the information that is provided related to Sun Road and Mr. Sexton's role in this clearly is misleading, if not completely untruthful.
Thank you very much, Don.